1994. So if we come down, we can still look at career as a job or a profession one is trained to do to earn a living. So this is just to introduce you to the topic we are going to do. Apart from that, we also have what we call career planning. You need to plan your career very well. And what is it? We are talking about a process of systematically matching your career goals and individual capabilities with opportunities for their fulfillment. So you match your career goals with the capabilities and abilities you have, and then when you do that, it means you are doing career planning. It is important also to note that this is a continuous process. It is not one-time shot or an event. So it includes an overview of your current skills, the experience you have, and then your career goals. So career planning involves or includes your skills, the skills you have, and then the experience, your interaction with your environment, the people you come into contact with, and then your career goals. When you match all of them, that means you are doing career planning. So let's see some of these words. We'll be using some of these words interchangeably throughout the presentation. So when you see vocation, then we are talking about career, occupation, work, livelihood, and then employment. You'll be using some of these things, and even job or profession, interchangeably throughout the presentation. Let's look at factors that can influence your career choice. One, we are talking about your interests, the one you like doing, the things you like doing, the things you take delight in doing, usually at your leisure time. Nobody will force you, nobody will compare you. You do it, and then you have joy. Apart from that, you also have what you call intellectual ability or your educational level, your capabilities. That one can also influence the career choice. Family, your family members, even including your environment, where you are born, where you are bred. All these things come into contact, and then it can influence it. The friends you make, the books you read, all these things can also influence you. And then your personality type, whether introvert or extrovert, all these things play a critical role in career decision for you. So the personality type 2, we are also talking about who you are, your strengths, your abilities, all these things come together. We are looking at Holland career model. This is one of the champions when it comes to the career guidance. In 1959, he developed a theory of vocation or career development. And then this theory hinges or believes that the choice of a career is an expression of the individual's personality. I've said that. That is, either you are introvert or extrovert. Whether you like outgoing or you are outdoor person or indoor person. That's the introvert and extrovert. And then another one, we have careers are also determined by an interaction between our personality and environment. I've said that earlier. So the people you come into contact, your family, your friends, the people you interact with, all this is the school, you attend the subject, you study at the secondary school and the various tertiary institutions can also influence your career choice. Then Holland continues to maintain that in choosing a career, people prefer jobs where they can be around others who are like them. This is very important. They want to be with people who are like them, who share the same vision, who share the same interests. Okay? So that is according to Holland. He further said that those people who are making choices in career, they search for environment that will let them use their skills and abilities and express their attitudes and values. So they're looking at environment, a place, a job environment where they can exhibit their values, where they can exhibit their skills. This is according to Holland. So according to Holland, he puts all of us into 6 personality types. The first one is realistic. Then the second one is investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and then conventional. So Holland is arguing that all of us, as we've gathered here, we may be belonging to 1 or 2 of these personalities. So as the presentation progresses, then let's try to identify where we belong to. So we'll be looking at them individually, one after the other. So let's talk about the realistic people according to Holland. He said that these are the interest areas of people or realistic people. One, these people like to work mainly with hands. They want to use their hands to do so many things. For example, making, fixing, assembling, or building things. Using or operating equipment or tools or machines. They often like to work outdoors. So if you give them work that will keep them in the office, these people will not like it. I have a friend who works at one of the leading banks. He keeps on telling me that he wants to change his work because always he's restricted. He doesn't have what we call social life. So this is very important. These are some of the key skills the realistic people have: operating, designing, measuring, driving, building, repairing, maintaining, and moving. As I said, they work in detail. These are some of the occupations they are likely to work. Normally they become pilots, horticulturists, engineering, mechanics, sportsperson, farmers, building, construction, security, and electrician, and then computer technologies. All these are some of the professions. These are some of the subjects you can study at the SHS level so that you can get the jobs we listed there. Mathematics, they are there. You can see them. We move on to the second area, what is investigative people. They like discovering, research. What is that? They like to observe very well. They like to do a lot of investigations. They want to experiment things and get new results. And they like to ask a lot of questions and solve problems. These are, according to Holland, investigative people. These are some of their key skills: computing, designing, calculating, analyzing, writing. These are there. You can see them there. These are the likely occupations they may find themselves in. Normally, they become scientists, researchers, medical doctors, security personnel, dentists, and then others. They are there. And then the subject areas at the SHS level, they are also listed there. We look at the artistic people. They like drawing, designing, music, painting, and then creating or drama. So let's look at their skills. Speaking, writing, singing, performing, designing, presenting, dancing, playing, and then composing songs. Songwriters, dancers. Photographers, and then other things that have been listed, fashion designers, and then advertisers. So let's look at the subject combinations. Literature in English, graphic design, business, general arts, music, arts, computing, visual arts, and then home economics. So I know that we have the various combinations here. What's wrong with this? Okay. We want to consider social people according to Holland. According to Holland, these people like to work with people. They like to teach and train other people. They usually help other persons They treat other people well and then care for other people. They always serve, and then they are always fond of greeting people. When they meet you, they'll greet you. At times, they'll come back and ask, have I greeted you? So these are the people. They always want to be nice with people. So these people are usually concerned for the well-being and welfare of what? Others. So according to Holland, these are the social people. As I said earlier, as the presentation progresses, then let's try to align ourselves to where we belong to. These are some of the key skills of social people: caring, supporting people, as I mentioned earlier, training people, meeting and greeting, assisting, teaching, coaching, and then interviewing. So these are some of the skills of social people. Then we have some of the occupations. They are likely to become teachers, nurses, counselors, like ours, social workers, peacemakers, like police officers, customer service, and then public relations officers, that is PRO. Then we have some of the courses or the subjects: generals, visuals, computing, languages, social work, business, and at a tertiary level, sociology, and then psychology. So let's also consider the next one, which is the last but one: enterprising persons. These people, these are their special interests. Meeting people, talking, leading, influencing, encouraging, and then they likely have interest in business. So even as we've gathered here, you see them, they try to figure out and do one or two business here. So whatever they find themselves, they want to do business there. So according to Holland, these are the people called enterprising. So as the name implies. So we have some of the key words: selling, persuading people, managing people and organizations, organizing things and events, promoting events. They like public speaking, leading people, and always they want to plan events and other things. Then, if you look at some of the occupations, they usually become salespersons, lawyers, business executives, advertisers. You will see that all these things, they involve speaking, persuading, and other things. And then politicians. You know the politicians, they can convince you, persuade you to do things against your will. So these are the people. Then we have some of the subjects here: mathematics, business, economics, government, ICT, accounting, literature, and English, and then history. Then the last group of people, according to Holland, is conventional persons. These people, they like working indoors, very indoors, organizing and arranging things, being accurate. When you give them assignment, they like perfection. They do it accurately, following procedure. So you tell them, do this. They will never deviate from that. They will do it perfectly for you. Planning work and then events. So these are the 6 types. So the key skills are there: computing, keeping records, paying attention to details, handling money. Yeah, somebody who wants to work according to detail, he always handle monies well, organizing, arranging, and then they like to work independently. So let's see some of the occupations. They usually become secretaries of companies and organizations, front desk officers. So you see, this is what I've been taught to do. They will do it according to procedure. Librarian, bank clerks, computer operators, bank tellers, and then lawyers. So let's see some of the subjects: business management, accounting, economics, computing, literature and English, government, and then history. So as I said, let's quickly look at this. With all these, the subjects, the profession we've just mentioned, then we need to learn effectively before you can progress and get your dream profession or job. So we are looking at what we call the power model. Power is an acronym. So we are going to look at the words in the word power. So the first word there is P in the power, which represents preparation. So all what I've said, you need to prepare well. And the preparation also entails goal setting. You need to set your goals well. And you make sure that your goals are realistic and then achievable. And then in setting your goals, you need to consider your values. Take into consideration your interests, your personality type, and then the skills. All these things will help you to set a realistic goals. Realistic and then achievable goals. Then we move on to the second letter in the word power, which is O, which means organization. After setting your goals, you need to gather your material, your learning materials there, including books, personal timetable. You need to form a vibrant study group. You need to get your planner. That will guide you for the day's activity, or even the week or the month. So we are saying that one of the best ways, when you form a study group, one of the best ways to learn is also to teach others. If you want to learn a very difficult subject, then gather people, gather your own friends or colleagues, and then begin to teach them. It will become easier for you. Then we move on to the third word in the acronym POWER, which is work. So after setting the goals, organizing your things well, you need to move into action. That's attending classes, exercises, assignment, and then you follow your personal timetable as you've seen in the pictures there. Then the next letter is E, which is evaluation. Then as you keep on learning, you keep on evaluating and assessing your strategies, the effectiveness of your strategy. Don't wait to the last time. A day before the examination, then you begin to complain about the difficulties you have in learning. That it may be too late for you. So you have your counselors around, your teachers around. Any difficulty you are facing, after you have evaluated and assessed your strategy you are using, then you contact them for assistance. Then the last letter is repetition and then rehearsal. So it means we keep on repeating all the actions we have outlined here for you. You continue to rehearse them. Solve more questions, including formulas there. So this is what we call the power model for effective learning. So you see that you are at the middle there. We are looking at the career pathways after SHS. That will be the last session for this presentation. So what do we see there? You are at the middle of the diagram. So you have universities, traditional universities, you have technical universities, you have health training institutions, you have colleges of education, you have security training institutions. And even apart from this, you can also branch to other areas there. So with this, these are some of the professions we've just mentioned about. So let's talk about program selection at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I told you that you'll be using two tertiary institutions for these presentations. Of course, we can't do away with number one, investing in the whole wide world when we are talking about this in terms of quality education. So let's see some of the guidelines for you. Admission requirements and then guidelines for WASSCE applicants. So we are saying that when you come here, most of our first degrees, most of them, the duration is 4 years. Apart from other health programs, medicine and those things there. So most of the programs, they are there. So let's see the core subjects here. KNUST is interested in 3 core subjects here. Mainly, English language, mathematics, and integrated science. So These are the things we are interested in. Though other faculties, other departments may also consider the social studies and other things. Let's come to the elective subjects. So we are saying that you must have credit passes in 3 WASI elective subjects. So, and then the aggregate should be 24 or better. A to C6. A1 to C6. Let me say this. It is important to know that in KNUST here, D7, E8, and F9 are not acceptable for admission purposes. So if your target is that you want to get D7, you need to revise your target here, right from now. So we want to consider some of the few programs, their cutoff point. So if you are targeting them, they know. Let's see. We have business administration, the cutoff. What is this? What is there? I want you to say it. What is there? Okay, so we have that one there. You look at it. And then the entry requirements also the core subjects, integrated science, English language, and then mathematics or social studies. I said they may consider that one. The electives, they are here. Subjects from business areas, general science, vocational or home economics. So even if it was your dream to do business at the SHS level and you couldn't and you did science, still you can come to university here and do business administration. Even with home economics, they are there. So these are some of the subjects there. Let me jump over it and move on. Let's see. Bachelor of Law. Cutoff point is 6, aggregate 6. These are the core subjects we have to get. Okay, thank you. So we have mathematics, integrated science, and then here too, it's not program specific. General arts, business, visual arts, or general science. So you can read law at the university here. I'll jump off some of the programs there. We have engineering programs there. And then their corresponding cutoff points are there. And then the requirements, both core and then elective subjects, they are there. So these are the cutoff points. College of Health Science, they are there. So check all of them. BSc Human Biology, that's medicine, they are there. And let me say this here. If you want to study medicine, then you need to get the elective subjects, good grade in biology here. It's very important there. And you check that one too. College of Arts and Build Environment, the courses are there. They are there. They are there. So you need to. Legon too. So these are the Legon. Let me read the requirements and jump to the last slides. Legon, you have to have at least credits. That is between A1 and C6 in WASI. In English language, core mathematics, and integrated science. For science-related programs. And social studies for non-science-related programs. So this is according to Legon. It's not like KNUST. So you take note of that. The various aggregate and the science, sorry, programs are also there. Let's see. Let me say this. If you want to study medicine, Legon, they are very particular about, as KNUST, they are interested in biology. They consider the biology for the electives at Legon. They want to consider your chemistry first. So that one, you take note of that. I'm bringing my presentation to an end because of time factor. So I want to give you some few tidbits or useful tidbits. Okay. So this will be the last slide. When you are filling your form at the KNUST, you buy a form. There are certain information you need to pay attention to. One of them is guardian information. It's very important. where there's a column for parents. Just after that, there's another column for guardian. Guardian here refers to somebody who is going to take care of you, who's going to pay your fees and do everything for you. So don't put your friends there. The experience we normally, the information we normally get is that some of you put your friends there. Why am I saying that? There's an insurance package for you. Currently, when something happens to your guardian, in terms of permanent disability and death, the school, the university will give you 4,000. 4,000 Ghana, 2 for accommodation and 2,000 for school fees or academic user fee there. So please, take notes. Let's look at the fee-paying option. If you decide to come here through the fee-paying door or window, you remain fee-paying student throughout the duration of your period. So you can't enter with fee-paying, and when you come, you say that I'm changing to regular student. So please, take note of that. The program you select, and that will be given to you, you may face some difficulties in changing that program. So take note of that. And then, if you encounter any challenge, Knust Counseling Center, our number is there. You can call us, and we assist. Even your counselors at your schools, they can also assist you there. And then I also advise you to visit your website, the website of the various institutions, and then study their various requirements and read very well. So this is what I'm leaving my presentation with you. Success is connected with actions. All these things we have said. If you keep on remaining where you are, you don't want to do any action, then you remain where you are. Successful people keep on moving, and then the difference, if you want to become a great student, the difference is little extra effort. Believe in yourself. You can make it. May God bless you for the audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ofe. Please, let's give it up to him again. Once again, on behalf of our head, we want to welcome you all to Counseling and Emotional Health and Wellness Promotion Week. Thank you for passing through. This edition is purposely for senior high school. We are happy to see you here. Please try as much as possible to associate, get friends. Some of us, we are too straight. Yeah? Look back, please look back. Look back to a different school. Give somebody a high five, very important. Ask his or her name, so necessary place, yes. The boys, you can ask the girls. You can do that, not bad. Socialize, very, very important. Good. Take your time, man. Take your time. The way people are. Okay, once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. On this note, we would want to take the next presentation. Before that, we would want to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Ekia at a clinical psychologist with the center. Please, let's welcome her. Good. You're welcome, Ms. Ekia. We're going to take our next presentation, and the presentation will come from Relationship Clinic team. Please, there's a pastor, so with a standing ovation, please. Let's give respect to whom respect is due. Let's welcome the team, relationship team, with a clap of them, please.
Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Thank you very much, the Counseling Center, for having us. And good afternoon to everyone. We will be sharing on healthy relationships. Obviously, being in SS, we'll talk about friendships, meaningful friendships, and then we'll talk about healthy relationships in general. First of all, we'll be looking at the foundations, some wrong foundations for relationships. Now, when we talk about relationships, with reference to us, we are talking about boy-girl relationships. We'll be looking at some wrong foundations, why it is important to abstain from premarital sex, some of the effects that premarital sex can have, And then we'll talk about a few other things like maximizing and enjoying the period when you are single. And then we'll be looking at simple steps for having meaningful friendships. So we're going to start from certain wrong reasons for which people get into relationships. In our case, we are talking about boyfriend, girlfriend issues. And so we'll just quickly look through some of them. Some years ago, some students were in class. A lady fell sick just before the exam, and she couldn't, take the notes that she was supposed to take. And then one young man helped her, and so on. And so she was able to write the exam. The young man copied her notes for her, helped her through the learning. And so later on, when he was asking to be her girlfriend, she felt indebted to him. Now, when it comes to friendships and relationships that are going to be meaningful, it is important to take note that you don't do it because you feel indebted to the person has done you a favor. Maybe the person bought some food for you, and so you think that, well, I want to reward this person by becoming his or her boyfriend or girlfriend. Now, number two, we don't enter into relationships to seek favors. Today we have a lot of people, when we went to the campus, they were calling the billings, but there were a lot of people who feel that, well, let me get into this kind of relationship with this kind of person. He seems to be very rich. Maybe I can get this or that, can buy this for me. Please do not enter a boyfriend. Do not become a boyfriend or girlfriend to somebody just because you are seeking favors. We call such people gold diggers. You don't want to be described as such. And then we have other people who get into relationship because they just want to show their gratitude to somebody who has helped them in one way or the other. Number four, we have people who are just lonely. They feel that my friends are so they feel that I just need somebody to keep me from being lonely. And that's why some people, you see, when we are talking about relationships, we are talking about something that is very important, something that will take you very far in life. We just had a talk about career. You can be in your career, for example, maybe you may be a pharmacist, a doctor. You can work for maybe 20, 30, maximum 40 years, but you will retire. But when it comes to relationships, you stay with the person for the rest of your life if you are married. So it's important to be very intentional about who you get into a relationship with. Number five, we have societal and peer pressure, especially for those of you in this group. It's as if you don't have anybody, you seem out of place. So you see this picture here where there are a group of people in something dark, but there's somebody in something white. And if you don't take care, you may feel, oh, this person has a boyfriend, this person has a girlfriend. Why am I alone? There's a time for everything. There's a time for everything. So not everybody does everything at the same time. But that is what pushes a lot of people into relationships, and they get into all kinds of relationships, even with very grown men and so on, and they are not ready for that. And the last thing I want to talk about, where we are talking about wrong foundations, is when people get sexually involved. Unfortunately, somebody got sexually involved with you, and then you think that you must keep that relationship because that's the person who got sexually involved. Please, that was a mistake. Probably you should ask the Lord to forgive you and forget about that. You don't need to continue in it. It's very, very important that you don't stay in something just because mistakenly you got involved sexually with someone.
Okay, so we want to continue and we want to talk about something that a lot of people don't like talking about, but that is happening all over the world today. We want to talk about premarital sex. I want to talk about why you as secondary school or senior high school, my time it was secondary school, senior high school students should abstain from premarital sex. The first reason, when our first facilitator was speaking, he mentioned a person, a man called Holland, who was an authority on career guidance. In the same way, we have somebody who is an authority on relationships and marriage. And that person is God, who created all of us, okay? So when you look at God, you realize that he's the one who originated relationships and marriage. And he considers it a sin. So that is the first reason. If you're a Christian, the Bible says you should flee or you should run away from sexual immorality. That is the only sin that it talks about. It says run. Why? Because it is a very dangerous thing. It is something that you may think that, oh, I'm strong enough, I can overcome it, I can hold and touch the girl, but nothing will happen. Before you realize something is happening. So you need to run, like Joseph ran. And God says that sex is reserved for marriage. In marriage, it is a wonderful way of expressing your love. But when you are single, when you are in secondary school or SHS, for example, a young adult like you run when you see it coming. You flee. Flee talks about running. It's a description of running, something that is between running and flying. So you move very fast away from it. The second reason is when we engage in premarital sex, it weakens our self-control. It's like opening a door that you can't close now. You start it, and then all of a sudden you realize that, hey, I can't stop it. And, you want to stop, and then you can't stop it. So it's important not to start it at all. It's like eating food that you have not eaten before. If you travel to China, for example, and they give you frog legs or something that you have not eaten before, initially you look at the thing and say, ew, I don't feel like eating this thing. Because you have not tried it. So it is easier for you to control, yourself from eating that thing. To you, it's not even attractive. But when you have tried it and you tasted it and say, wow, is this how the frog legs really tasted? After a while, you realize that whenever you see it, you feel like eating it. There are some people who have never taken toffees. But when you take it, you see that, oh, toffee is very nice. Before you realize it's difficult to control yourself when taking it. So it weakens self-control. And as young people, you don't want to weaken your self-control. You want to strengthen it even before you get to the university. And then the third thing is that it saves you from emotional trauma. You see, premarital sex causes you to have some emotional attachment to the person you have sex with. So what happens is that disappointments affect you more. You get into such a relationship with a person, there's anxiety, all kinds of fear, depression. You will see that, this person, the person you have had sex with is talking to another lady or hugging another lady, then you start getting afraid. Hey, is he also interested? And then you have all kinds of issues. You are afraid of unwanted pregnancy if you're a lady. So that alone puts fear, anxiety. What is happening? Am I pregnant? Am I not pregnant? Will I drop out of school? And all that. So it's very important that we abstain from premarital sex.
Another reason why we should abstain from premarital sex, please take note, is STIs, sexually transmitted infections. Now, this is a study that was conducted in the US on people aged from age 15 to 24 and those from age 25 plus. I want you to take note of this in particular. Now, when we talk about STIs, most people know about gonorrhea. But even with gonorrhea, there is a strain. I happen to be a pharmacist by profession. I don't practice, but there is a strain of gonorrhea that has come up recently, which is incurable. All the drugs are being used and it's not working. I want you to take note of it. Now, so according to the survey and what came out, you see this HPV. HPV is a human papillovirus. That is one of the causative agents of cervical cancer. This genital herpes. All right, so let me try and take you through. So we have, in their study, they found out that 70% of people aged 15 to 24 get gonorrhea, chlamydia, human papillovirus, genital herpes, HIV. So you see that the 15 to 24 year age group, which is probably what the age group we are talking to right now, if you're in SHS, you will fall within that. The chances of falling into this category is very high. Now, these are not nice diseases. Their names may be nice, but they are not nice. And I wouldn't advise. Some of these things cause genital warts. Some growth will appear. You can burn it or cut it off. After some time, it reappears. You cut it off, it will reappear, and so on and so forth. Some of them cause sores, like the herpes. They cause sores on the private parts, and so on. Now, these come about when you engage in frequent sex with people. You know, somebody says, oh, I have only one. But the one you have also had one. Who had one? Who also had one? So you see, thinking you are safe, you are saying, I'm having sex with one person. But you see, that person had a history, a background. And so that's why God, the originator, and the person who is the foremost authority on this, says that you should flee when it comes to sexual immorality. And some people say, oh, but is it possible? Yes, it is possible. We are not goats and we are not dogs. They don't have self-control. But when you are a human being, you have self-control. And God will also help you. So that is the other reason why we should abstain from premarital sex. Some of these vicious diseases and infections that have come about. Number 5, it breeds mistrust. You see, as people are growing, you come to realize that if somebody could not be patient enough to wait for you to get married before having sex with you, if you are able to even go to the point of marriage, what prevents the person from having sex with other people? Do you understand? So the mistrust is a problem. Then number 6, we have, it affects future relationships and marriages, memories, comparisons. You know, when in your mind you start comparing A with B and B with C and C with D and so on. And you know, there's something about premarital sex. They say, it is said often and probably true, that when a guy is looking for a lady to sleep with, as long as the lady says no, there is some self-respect that is preserved. The day this lady says yes, that person loses all the respect that that person had. That is why, thank you very much, even in our societies, ladies who keep themselves very well are well respected. Yes. Now, those who give in, they don't know. But those who give in, behind your back, they have names for you. Community mattress, things like that. So, you see, that's why, by the grace of God, you must keep yourself well. by God's grace. You see, because you may not know, there are some names for you, just like how students have names for teachers, sometimes. No. So it's very important.
Okay, so we now want to move on to how to avoid premarital sex. Very important. Number one, stay away from pornographic materials. This is all over. There's pornographic material everywhere, on the internet, even on TV. And, I know that it can be very challenging in this generation, very difficult, because it's like everywhere you turn, even when you have not planned to see something, before you realize there is a nude person, you tap on the screen and then something appears. So it can be very difficult, but it is so important to your future. That is why we are sharing it. So stay away from these things. And the problem with pornography is that it is addictive. Some chanced on it by mistake. They saw somebody watching it, then they looked. Then they turned their face. Then they said, no, let me look again. Then they looked again. Then you look again. And before you realize, you see things that begin to stimulate you, and then your interest is aroused. And there are certain chemicals in the brain that begin to work and affect you. And then, before long, you become addicted. You are sitting there minding your own business, you are studying or something, and then you just feel like going to check on the sites and then to watch something. Stay away from these things. There was a young man and a young lady who were sitting in a room together and decided to watch a movie. There are some of the movies that are pornographic. It may start like a very harmless, family movie, and then it begins to progress, and then it begins to progress, and before you realize, some romance has come in, and all kinds of things. Stay away from all those things. There were these two people, the young man and the young woman. They were sitting in a room alone watching a movie. And as they watched the movie, there was romance, and then things were progressing. And then she came, telling us the story. A lot of people come and see us for counseling and other things. And she said, as we were sitting there watching the thing, the atmosphere began to change. And the atmosphere began to change. And we don't know what happened before we realized we were in bed. So it's better to stay away. It's better to stay away. Don't start it at all. What you see is what you will start practicing. I mean, it's a normal, rule of life. That's why they have a lot of adverts on TV. As you keep on looking at it, watching it, Omo, or, some other spaghetti before key soap advert. Then you watch it over and over again. Next time you enter a shop, the next thing you want to buy is key soap. Even though I'm only watching it. Before long, you will start practicing it. And then the second thing we need to do, or you need to do, because I'm married, is to set boundaries. And this is my dear husband. So, you need to set boundaries. That means that you need to take certain decisions to make sure that there is a certain limitation around you. You don't go beyond a certain boundary for your own good. And we have what we call location boundaries, first of all. And when we talk about location boundaries, we are talking about places that you shouldn't go to as a young person. Don't find yourself in some movie theater, in some nightclub, and things like that. Yeah, in school. Yes, during the vacation, sometimes you are in school, but during the vacation, some of you find yourselves in places like that. And in school, I hope the rules are strict enough today like they were before. You don't find yourself in a girl's dorm and vice versa, or in some corner somewhere under a tree near the headmistress's house or something. So you set location boundaries, decide that there are some places we will not go to. And then you set action boundaries. There are some things we will not do. At your age, you don't have any business kissing a young lady or a young lady kissing a young man. But sometimes we hide and do it. It is something you need to watch. Put a boundary. Because you may say that, it's only a kiss. So you start by maybe, give me a peck on my cheek. Then he says, The next time it becomes a kiss on the lips. And the next time it becomes a French kiss, a longer one. And then you are putting yourself into trouble. So decide that there are some things we will not do. And then time boundaries. Don't be found with a member of the opposite sex, a fellow student or somebody or some man or a woman somewhere at certain times. The later the hour, the stronger the temptation for sexual immorality and sexual issues. All right, so the next thing to do is to choose the right friends. Choose the right friends. Evil communication or evil friendship corrupts good character. There are many young people we know who left home very innocent. Their parents know that, oh, as for this child of mine, she or he is well behaved when he gets to school. And then the person goes to befriend a very naughty boy or a very naughty girl. And then by the time the term is over, the child gets back home. The parent cannot recognize the child. Ah, is this the child I sent to school? The parent cannot recognize the child because of association, because of wrong friends. So choose the right friends. Choose a friend who is going in the direction that you are going. As for me, I want to be serious academically. I want to live well. I don't want to, be involved in relationships. Choose a friend like that who is going in the right direction. And my husband talked about this earlier. Do not succumb to peer pressure. You see, there's only one person there saying no. All the others are saying yes, yes, yes. So if you are the only one saying no, before long you start feeling like the odd one out. And then you say, oh, let me be like all of them. And one of the greatest lies that people tell is to say that everybody is doing it. For your information, not everybody is doing it. Not everybody is doing it. It may look like that, but not everybody is doing it. So don't succumb to peer pressure. No matter how close the person is to you, decide that, as for me, I'm keeping myself for the future. And then number 5, avoid provocative behavior and dressing. As a young person, don't walk into a class, the teacher is not there, then you go and sit on some boy's lap, or you go and be stroking somebody's beard. Okay, so I think many of you are not bearded yet, but you've been shaving. Okay. So, provocative behavior, touching the ladies, touching the backside and the breast and all those things. Avoid those things. That is how to avoid premarital sex, because one thing leads to another. And then avoid provocative dressing. Avoid provocative dressing. Some of the boys you dress and then all your something at the back is showing, your pants and things are showing at the back. The girls too are wearing very short dresses. I mean, everything can be seen, your thighs and all that. And you wear dresses that, the neckline is so low that your cleavage, your breast, it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. The person sees and can even imagine what else is there. So let us avoid all those things. They will help you to avoid premarital sex.
Thank you. So that's very, very important. Remember that the way you dress is the way you are normally addressed. Very important. We are looking at how to maximize and enjoy this season and time of your life. It's very important to note that at this time, if you are between the ages we talked about, 15 to 24, this is a very good season of your life. And this is the time to plan for whatever God will have you to be, or whatever you yourself want to be in the future. And so when you are in SHS, it's a very good opportunity God has given you to think, to plan, to study, to focus. If you allow unnecessary things to take your attention, what will happen is that whatever plan that was in your future can be derailed. We pray that it will not be so. Number one, you need to recognize that it's a blessing even to be single. Look, being single is a great blessing because you have very little responsibility. You don't need to think about pocket money, taking care of somebody's. I mean, it's sad that you are in SHS and you have to be giving pocket money to other people because it's your girlfriend. I mean, it's very sad. Me or you are not making money yourself. So it's good to enjoy your singleness and to maximize it. Recognize that it's a blessing, it's not a curse. Recognize that it's a time where you can make your own decisions in terms of the fact that within the space of the SHS, you do what you are supposed to do and you are able to plan ahead. You should be able to have your own timetable. The previous speaker spoke about it. Have your own timetable, follow your timetable, and you will not have anybody calling you. You have not called the whole day. You have not said anything. I mean, it's a very good time. You have the freedom to do a lot of planning, a lot of learning. It saves you so much trouble. And the most important thing about at this stage of your life is that you must understand that there's a time for everything. A few years back, we were in a place and we had a lot of mothers who were going back, both mothers and fathers going back to learn. Today we have a lot of mature students who are universities and so on. And one day I was speaking to one of them and she said to me, you know, going back to school after you have worked the whole day, closed at 5, you now go and sit in a lecture for 2-3 hours. She said she sleeps all the time. She sleeps because she's tired. And you see, you don't want to do that. So this is the time for learning. Just learn. Just learn. And then when you learn, whatever you are aspiring to be in the future, you'll be able to do your first degree, your second degree, your third degree, your PhD. So that when you grow and you are thinking of your children, you don't now need to go and sit down somewhere and be learning again. It's difficult to do that when you have grown and you have other responsibilities. So use your time properly. So we want to move to the next slide. Can we get some help here? Okay.
So it's important to occupy yourself while you are single, like my husband has said. It is a time to invest in yourself, spiritually, and then academically, and also in skills. Learn something new. When you go home, learn some new skills, something that will occupy you, and then enjoy your being single, your time of being single. You can go for quiz competitions, involve yourself in drama and other things in school so that you enjoy your single time. And it doesn't look like a waste of time. Yeah, this schooling, I have to hurry up and finish and all that. Enjoy it while you have it. And then it is also a time that you can prepare yourself for the future, okay? Even in the secondary schools, you hear people saying, I'm looking for Mr. Right, I'm looking for Miss Right, and all that. It is a time to invest in yourself. It is a time to make sure that you are working on your character. You should rather focus on being the right person. A lot of people are looking for, I'm looking for the right person who I'll be in a relationship with or who I'll marry in future. But you focus on being the right person, and the right person will come to you in the future. Now we want to move on to simple steps for making meaningful friendships. So like we said, this is your time where you are single. It is an important time to make friends of the same sex. That's what we are talking about. So in your class, a lady who can be your friend. If you're a man, find a gentleman who can be your friend. And it's important to be friendly. Some people are looking for friends, but they are not friendly. Proverbs says that he who will have friends must show himself friendly. There are some of you, your faces are always straight. When our MC came, he said, oh, say hello to somebody. Some of you are looking too serious. And then you say, nobody is saying hello to me. Nobody is my friend. Show yourself friendly. Smile at somebody. Say hello to somebody and make good friends. Look for common interests. People who have common interests with you, look for them and then make friends with such people. Number 3, be a genuine friend by being sincere and truthful. You see, sometimes it's very difficult to find true friends because the friend may disappoint you before you realize. I remember when we were in secondary school, those things were abounding. I went to a girls' school, Holy Child School, and you hear somebody saying that she was my friend, and then she went to say this about me. She went to gossip about. It's so difficult finding true friends, but it is possible to find them. So look out for people who are genuine friends. When I was in the university, I was the whole of first year. I had a problem with a serious migraine. I couldn't go for lectures. I was in KNUST here. I couldn't go for lectures. So it was my roommate who was helping me. And then, I couldn't sleep at night. When the light is on, my head would be aching. But she was so supportive at that time. You need friends like that. Not just somebody who is interested in you because of your body, but a true friend of the same gender. And then also, we need to grow your friendship by communicating often. Whoever is your friend, talk to the person, share ideas, get to know the person better, and help each other.
So finally, we want to talk about these last things about how to, simple steps for making meaningful friendships. True friends care for each other and support each other. And you must have a good friend, even at SHS level. It's very important. It's not everything you may understand when you are in your lecture room or you're in your classroom. But if you have a good friend and he understands it, he can help you. So friends look for ways to help each other. But one of the things you must do about your friendship, especially if it's with somebody of the opposite sex, make sure your friendship does not become toxic. When we say toxic, what we mean is that it does not become a harmful friendship. Don't be sending things like nude pictures and things like that. I don't know whether the SHSs are allowed to keep phones now. I'm not too sure about that. But when they go home, I'm sure they keep phones. So when you start doing things like sending nude pictures and so on, you are making your friendship toxic. And having said all this, in all the SHSs, we have counselors, we have people you can go to when you need help. And so, do not hesitate to call for help when you need help. Because the way life is, somewhere along the line, you will need help. And there is one person I want to encourage you to get to know. The hymn writer said these words in the hymn. He said, "What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer." There is a friend who is a friend above all other friends. His name is Jesus. I will encourage you to get to know him as a friend. He will not fail you. He will not hurt you. He will help you. Thank you for the time.